Hey everyone, have you heard of intuitive eating and exercise? It's the practice of listening to your body's hunger and fullness cues to gauge when, what, and how much to eat. It is the practice of letting your body guide you and trusting yourself to make decisions that will nourish your unique body. Now bear with me. I know the belief that we can trust ourselves to guide us in making food choices counters what most people accept as truth. However, there is growing evidence in support of intuitive eating as a healthier and more sustainable way to have a relationship with food. So how does it differ from the diets you see in the media? Well, when it comes to traditional dieting, they are usually weight-focused, where an individual is given a set of rules to follow to help lose or gain weight. And that results in little to no success on average, and many end up going on and off again cycle. On the other hand, intuitive eating is more health-focused. While eating in accordance with your body's wisdom may cause you to lose, gain, or not change your weight at all, that is not necessarily the goal. Intuitive eating is also evidence-based, meaning research has found it to foster body appreciation, improve life satisfaction, increase intake of nutritious foods, increase motivation for movement, and improve your overall health. So in a world full of fad diets, this eating philosophy offers something completely different. Something kinder, gentler, and more sustainable for our lives. Remember, intuitive eating is a practice, not a destination. It is based on 10 principles that guide you to body trust by moving you away from dieting, restriction, and rigid rules. So now we'll go over those 10 principles. The first principle is reject diet mentality. From social media, advertisements, and even chit-chat amongst friends, dieting is everywhere. Rejecting diet mentality means letting go of everything related to dieting. For example, maybe you see an ad that says you should stay away from peanut butter because they claim it is fattening. Rejecting diet mentality is recognizing that the ad is diet culture and continuing to eat peanut butter because you love it. Next is honor your hunger. Hunger is a biological response, and you wouldn't ignore your body's other biological responses like blinking, breathing, or your urge to use the bathroom, yet we try to ignore our hunger all the time. Hunger is not your enemy or something to be avoided. Intuitive eating is about listening to your hunger and learning to respond to what it needs. The next is to make peace with food, and that means to stop fighting with food. This includes putting an end to language that indicates you're at war with food, like, I can't eat this, or I shouldn't have this until I blank. For example, maybe you have a rule about only eating brown rice, even though you love the taste of white rice or it's more culturally significant to you. Recognizing that your overall pattern of eating impacts your health more than any one meal, you can make peace with food and swap in that white rice. Next is challenge the food police. Have you ever enjoyed a cupcake and then felt bad that you just did a bad thing? Have you ever praised yourself for being good after eating a salad? If you have, then you might know about the food police, that inner voice that judges what you eat. So, challenging the food police means there's no foods that are good or bad. While some foods may be more nourishing than others, food is just food, and all foods fit into a healthy lifestyle. Discover the satisfaction factor. Do you eat what you feel you're supposed to eat, or do you eat what will satisfy you? For many of us, it's the former. And while eating is a biological requirement, the foods you choose should also bring you some joy. As you begin a meal or while you're eating, ask yourself, is this the food I want? Does it make me feel satisfied? Is there anything that might better satisfy me? Maybe that salad for lunch satisfied my craving for something fresh and crunchy, but now I crave something sweet. So I'll eat a piece of chocolate and now I'm fully satisfied. The last principle was kind of about mental satisfaction, and now this principle is about physical satisfaction. Is your body getting what it needs from the foods you're eating? Your body gives you signals that it is hungry and full. Maybe your plate still has some food on it, but after checking in with your body, you recognize that you're feeling full. So, instead of pressuring yourself to clean the plate, remember that you can save it as leftovers for when you're hungry again. Next is cope with your emotions with kindness. Food and feelings are so intertwined with each other. So this principle is about finding kind ways to nurture, distract, comfort, or cope with your feelings with activities to help you reduce your stress rather than with food. Oh, and by the way, sometimes the answer is food, and that's alright too. A little bit of stress eating now and then can be okay, but when we turn to food repeatedly to soothe or comfort our feelings, that's when it becomes a bigger issue, and that's when we recommend reaching out to a health professional. Everyone is different, and we are all heavily influenced by our genetic blueprint. We can't diet our way into a body that is not made for us. So intuitive eating recognizes and respects size diversity and the idea that all bodies are worthy of celebration. Intuitive exercise encourages you to do movements that bring you joy. And notice it's about movement, not exercise. Try out different movements to find out what feels best to you. Movement helps boost immunity, boost those feel-good chemicals known as dopamine or serotonin, and can counter depression and anxiety. The more you like the movement, the more sustainable it is for your life. Lastly, we have honor your health with gentle nutrition. The other 9 principles are about tuning into your internal needs, but intuitive eating isn't asking you to forget everything you've been taught about nutrition. Instead, this principle asks you to turn to science to understand your body's needs. For example, maybe you notice that whenever you eat toast for breakfast, just plain toast, you become hungry almost immediately afterwards. Then you start to add peanut butter or maybe some cut up bananas and you start feeling fuller for longer. Check out our YouTube videos for more information on nutrition. It's important to listen to our internal cues regarding hunger and fullness. So now we'll go over the hunger and fullness scale, which is an intuitive eating tool to get in touch with our internal cues. It's a simple scale of 1 to 10 where each number correlates to a level of hunger or fullness. Let's do a mindfulness activity. If it feels comfortable for you, close your eyes. If not, then lower your gaze to the desk or ground. Let's stop and notice our bodies. With your feet flat on the floor, begin to sense how hungry or full you are. Breathe deeply as you focus on your hunger or fullness. Pause this video for about 10 to 15 seconds or until you're ready to resume. Now, look at the scale. Where do you think you are? How did that feel? I think we often forget what hunger feels like, especially in our busy lives. So sometimes when I'm going into a 3-hour lecture, I check in with myself. Even if I'm at a 5 or a 6, I feel that I might be at a 2 or 3 within the next few hours. So I eat a snack to prepare. That way I don't get to that hungry, irritable state while I'm trying to learn. Thank you for watching. Here are some great intuitive eating resources that were used to create this video.